All right. How many of you had an early suspicion when the smartphone first came out that the smartphone might be used to spy on you? How many of you had the thought when the GPS came out that at some point it would be used to locate you? How many of you thought Google Earth was a little scary, how it could see? People say, look, that's my backyard. How many of you had that thought? Well, our next presenter has created an entire phone ecosystem to compete with the iPhone and the Android systems, and he's not controlled by the deep state. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand to your feet and greet Michael Proper.
Hello, beautiful people. It's nice to be with you. For about 11 years, we've been hiding out and building and building. Not really, actually out of this little old state of Texas. We've been working with Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Anybody know that company? We're going to talk to you a little bit about a couple things. One, a phone, but it's not really about a phone. Two, storage, and how the combination of a phone and 12 words gives you a thing called decentralization. Okay? Some of you may understand what decentralization is, but hopefully by the time we're done, you'll understand a little bit more. How many of you understand the digital world? You don't understand it? Wonderful, it's perfect. How many of you understand the physical world, where we are today? We're physically connected here, right? How many of you understand the spiritual world? Now just imagine the physical world, the spiritual world, and right in the middle we got this digital world, okay? We talk about frequencies. We talk about bands. Do we understand how these things work? Do we need to? Do we understand how prayer works? Do we believe in it? Can you make a call to somebody? Somebody's actually texting right now. Can you make a call to somebody on this thing, or send a message, or grab a photo and send it out? Okay. You're already understanding the digital world. What governs this digital world, though? I would like to invite you to go back a couple generations. I would like to imagine seeing across the horizon, and you're actually a chief of Indian nations, and you see some ships coming to a land. Do you even understand what's happening? I'd like to invite you to look at ships that are out in an ocean today. They're parked. Do you understand what's happening? This is not just about a virus. It is not just about a government that's been taken over. It's not just about a health ecosystem that is connected with news and media that has taken over a perception of reality. And it's not just about centralized big tech. It's about all of them working together in unison in what is called secret combinations. But they're centralized in themselves. And the only way that they can work is through this centralization. But if we decentralize it, it doesn't work anymore. I'll give you an example. How many of you understand what Bitcoin is? You don't have to know how it works. How many of you know where it came from? How many, can it actually be killed? Can we say goodbye to Bitcoin? You think we can? What if I told you that Bitcoin is actually a part of what's called a decentralized ecosystem? And it's only one example of it from a financial transaction or value exchange. What if I told you there's a whole nother world inside of that? Governance, asset management, land management. There's so much in this digital world that we haven't even understood yet. But we, the individual, has to grab what every single one of you has in your pocket. Maybe 99% of you. You have a phone? Yeah? Are you concerned sometimes on maybe how it listens to you or doesn't listen to you? Yeah? Do you have a choice, an alternative to it? You do today. I'm going to go as fast as I can through slides. It took us about 11 years to build, and we're going to pop it into 11 minutes. Are you ready? Decentralization is the future, not centralization. Decentralization cannot be stopped, just like Bitcoin cannot go away unless the network is controlled. Yeah, somebody gets it. America, the land of the free, the land of the brave. Sometimes we talk about it being one nation under God. We still believe it's one nation under God, don't we? Why do we need a government between us and God? What if I told you decentralization is actually the way to do that? You said it, you forget it. What if I told you that the America, this country, our responsibility, our accountability, our birthrights, it's one big melting pot. We have the stewardship to stand up for the whole world. Is it our responsibility to deliver it? No. Will it start here? Yeah. Will it end here? No. One world under God. One world under God. Remember we talked about that spiritual and that digital and that physical? This digital world, it's our generation in this dispensation to actually build how it will be governed. If you back up 200, 300, 400 years, the 1400s, literally, the physical land, the states, the providences, the nations were created. It is our role and responsibility to create and form this digital ecosystem that we all can be a part of. We're already a part of it. When I stop looking at you, sir, and I look in this device, I've jumped from physical to digital. How is this governed? What if I told you that there's a virtual side to all of this? We all talk about taking these things and connecting up to a cloud. You're either connected to a Google device or you're connected to an Apple device in this room. You're connected to two separate clouds. They're not a cloud, it's somebody else's server. Do you own that server? Do you own the rights to that server? Do you own the access to that server? Do you own the encryption to that server? No. In this new digital world, you and only you will own the access to this new ecosystem. I'm glad that you get it because it's so massively important to understand. This new digital world, digitalworld.earth is where you can go visit it. All of you can make a recommendation to say, I actually want to have a voice. I want to be heard. But this is not a company. This is not a nonprofit. This is not even incorporated because it's one world. All of us together. And just like Bitcoin is set up and you can't stop it now, these ecosystems, when they get set up, you can't stop them. You're a part of this dispensation to actually help create the governance for this new digital world. All you have to do is understand it, but most of you live in it every day. I want you to look at this phone differently. The phone in your pocket. Next time you look at it, think about, am I connecting to this person? Am I doing a video conference? Am I doing an email? Am I doing a text? And if so, what governs this? GDPR out of the European Union came out and said, you just can't store data for citizens in the European Union in certain ways or we'll fine you. 5 billion to Facebook, I mean, it's just massive. They're continuing to do it. But how does everyone actually benefit from that? How do we as individuals actually govern our own data for our own choice and accountability, for our own sovereignty as individuals? As parents with this new ecosystem, what they call the World Wide Web, which we know has a lot of beautiful knowledge, but it also comes with evilness that we can't even speak of or fathom. And I don't even want to go into it. When we talk about decentralization and accountability, you think it's difficult today? Imagine things that can never be taken down. I'll just leave it at that. This new digital world operates on two elements. Storage, on the left here, and a phone, an access device. And it's not just one phone. It's literally, you get 12 words, you can plug it into the phone, and that connects to your own storage. If I were to take a photo, literally, if I were to take a photo, it would take that photo and break it into thousands of pieces. and then it would store it in thousands of locations. Not just one location with one photo, but pieces of it in thousands of locations. I hope this is starting to make sense to you. That's a cloud. We've been working for over 11 years with different Clear organizations to be the first service providers to this new digital world. There will be many service providers. I'm sure you can imagine new economies. Remember Blockbuster that was killed by the DVD? And then the DVD was killed by Netflix, etc. There'll be many service providers like these Clear companies or other companies that have been acquired over the last decade that have literally rolled into servicing this new digital decentralized world. This new world will basically change for you in a very simple way. When you get your phone, you don't log into Google or Apple. You actually get 12 words. Those 12 words become what's called your private key. You just don't lose those 12 words, and all of your data is always yours. It uses derived keys, so those 12 words turn into some simple things when you actually have a phone and you put your finger on it. So something you have, something you do, something you are in a space of time. It's four-factor authentication that only you can control. But you can actually manage many other things from it. All your logins, all your usernames, all your passwords, they all turn into your finger. Literally imagine all of your healthcare records. Imagine all of your financial assets or pieces of them being able to be managed and controlled only by you. This is the decentralized future. This is the freedom that a decentralized future can bring you. Yes, you have to be accountable. You actually have to store your 12 words. Do you store your title of your vehicle in your glove box? No, you just put it in a different place. If you want to prove the ownership of your vehicle, you can do that. If you lose your phone, you grab another phone, put your 12 words in, all your data comes back. Does that make sense? Very simple. It may feel complicated because some of these words are new to you, but when you understand digital and decentralization and privacy and freedom, there's a new frontier that we all get to live in. It's not just a matter of, woe, terrible things in the health world, which I absolutely agree with. It's in many ways, it's laughable, and we even follow through with it. Many things in the financial world, the media, you see this repetition over and over. But it's a matter of, what are we going to do about this? What are we actually going to do? We can all sit here and talk about it and rah-rah all we want. But are we going to actually get a different device where we can actually start building a new ecosystem that's separate from big tech and big government and big finance and big health? Is this something you want? This phone, imagine the ability to manage all of your logins and all of your data. And imagine to do it in a very simple way with the existing systems. And what I mean by that is, you guys all have seen these logins where you log in with Facebook or you log in with Google, right? What if you just log in with a new Clear login? And you actually just touch your phone and you're automatically in. And when you actually log into your data, imagine you not only doing what Google has done to the world where they index and crawl all the public data, you can log into your own data. And imagine if you actually mined your own data, your own health records, where you went, what you did, what you listened to, what you like, what your credit score is, what your bank balances are. And you monetized yourself. Remember, we're talking about a decentralized future. We're talking about transactions that can be real time and for cents. What if you were to get paid instead of Google getting paid for who you are? Are you getting this? Did you come? Are you actually glad you're listening to these things? Imagine a future where not only devices that are currently out there in the world could be used for the infrastructure, but new devices around storage and phones can actually be right at your fingertips, just like you buy from Google or Apple or Samsung. You just make a different choice, a choice to be free, a choice to help build a sovereign system for future generations, a choice to actually choose where you go and what you do, or maybe where your kids go and what they do, or maybe when you pass on, how your assets get sent to the next generation. Or maybe the data that we actually leave as our digital footprint, how future generations, we're talking about pieces of data here with health, but do we have definitive data better than any other system out there? And then generation over generation with this data. This could be very, very easily realized. Imagine 3 different phases. First, you've got the phone, then you've got the storage that connects to the phone, which we've completed, and then you've got a community. Imagine if you go to clear.community, you could actually export all of your Facebook data and import it right into this new ecosystem. How many of you have actually been deplatformed from Facebook? Is this crazy? No, I mean, how many times? So if you go to facebook.com/download your data, DYI, you can grab your data. Grab it. You can import it into this new community. It's not censored. You actually, just like in person, you build a reputation on who you physically are. In this new digital world, you'll literally have the ability to build your own reputation. So today and for the last 12 months, we've been shipping a phone, 3 phones, the 220, the 420, and the 620. You can buy them for a monthly fee, or you can pay for them up front. You can buy them with a service, you can buy them without a service. It works worldwide with the Deutsche Telekom networks, all GSM platforms. In the US, it's Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. There's different versions of it. How many of you heard of the Freedom Phone? This is actually the basis of what it's being built on. The Clear Phone, new Armor phones. These will be flavors of phones with different brands that are powered by this new decentralized Clear infrastructure. Imagine new storage that's really simple at your homes. By the way, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise pre-installs ClearOS server worldwide. For those of you that know Texas and know Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, that's a big deal. 4 years in the makings on just that. So the server side of this, 450,000 deployments around the world, and a chunk of them are on Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. There's a marketplace that has them, literally 150 plus apps, 17 years in development just on the server-side operating system. If you understand Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, #1 server in the world, right here out of Texas, and they pre-install ClearOS server. That should give you an element of trust and maturity that you just haven't seen. Massive deployments. This is the community. There's a couple different areas that you focus on. The individual first, protection, communication, applications, finance, and then health. All of this can be yours. It can be your data, and you're not relying on big tech. So imagine the ability to actually use your phone and use a camera that uses 20 frames per second to actually slow down your face, even with a mask. Not that you should be wearing a mask. It can literally look at the capillaries. It can actually see your oxygen level, your oxygen saturation level, your heart rate, your respiration level, and your stress level. Imagine to be able to see that on all of your kids' vitals real time, but also imagine what that could do with future generations. How we live, how we operate. And these are just 5 data points. There's future ones coming. Temperature, blood pressure, etc. So that's just one of the apps that's unique to this data, because once you actually start owning your own data, you can start doing some real things with it. Imagine the ability to replace Google Docs and Gmail and Sheets and presentations. It's not centralized anymore. It's private to you. This is built in. Imagine the ability to actually send financial transactions in real time. Literally in real time. If I had time, I'd show you here. The ability to send it with no government in the middle of it. No banking system in the middle of it. You tracking with me? No cost sides to it. What this does is this goes through Bitcoin, Ethereum, Visa, $14 billion in a 24-hour period, and it looks at 2 things. What's the average speed to transfer? By the way, Bitcoin now is 4 countries that is standardized on it. It takes almost 10 minutes per transaction. Do you think you could go buy a dozen eggs in 10 minutes? I mean, it's just not realistic, right? But for full settlement, it's over 10 minutes. Imagine the cost of Bitcoin to send 14 billion is $2,300. Ethereum, 26 million. That's pretty inexpensive. Why? Because Visa, do you know what we pay today? On average, 2.5%, which equates to $336 million just to send these transactions. The difference is the speed. Bitcoin and Ethereum are 3 to 10 minutes. Visa is 3 seconds to 5 seconds. Clear, so what I'm showing you, these devices, literally can send within 8 seconds full settlement at zero price. This isn't theoretical. I can show it to you in real time. You have a choice. You're either an Android choice or you're an Apple choice. Today you have something in the middle that has zero market adoption. You have a clear choice. There are wonderful people here that want to help you to understand more about it. There are wonderful people that want to support the world and through this process as a service provider to this new digital world. We will compete with big tech. We will replace them. Just like the prior gentleman. Yeah. Amen. John, or Paul, do you want to grab this real fast? What I would ask you to do, you don't go buy a phone. Literally, come up and understand more about this system. Understand more about what the digital world, pull it all the way up here if you could. This is actually a declaration of unity. Just like 56 people signed the Declaration of Independence when the physical world of the United States was founded. This Declaration of Unity is literally for all of us to separate from this current digital ecosystem that some of us know something about, some of us know nothing about. But just like there is a spiritual world and we live in this physical world, there is a digital world that we all communicate on, that we operate on, that we trust. But can we trust it? We can trust ourselves. We can trust others with data, pieces of data that only we can access. I know it may feel complicated, but this model is a very simple model. This declaration is a very, very simple document. Please, come find Paul. Come read this. It'll be on the wall over here. Understand it. If you agree with it, sign it. You'll actually have an opportunity to physically sign it, or digitally sign it as well. Come be a node on the network. You get one of these little devices, you plug it into your home, it protects your homes. Be a node on the network that actually provides the storage behind the phones. You don't want to do this with the centralized systems. All of you have some form of a powered, cooled internet connection in a home or an office. All you have to do is use it, be a part of this. And at the same time, you get paid for doing that, some value exchange. You can actually earn what's called ClearCoin. We've been involved in the Bitcoin world for over 11 years. Please, when you look at crypto or these other ecosystems, 95% of them are absolute just fraudulent garbage. But when you look at something that we as humans can actually adopt and become a part of, this is a very solid opportunity. But it's an opportunity for all of us, not just one company or one ecosystem. No one will control this new digital world. Not me, no one. It is for all man and womankind, specifically for future generations. When you died, or when you actually were born, did you know of these phones? Did we understand this ecosystem? But when we all pass, we gotta leave it in a very different way than it currently is. We can agree with that, right? Please help to be a part of this. Understand what this declaration is. Understand what the Constitution is that will be behind this new digital world, not just in America, but the whole world. This is what we can actually do. This is how we can act. It doesn't matter who's running XYZ White House or ABC Pharma Company or XYZ News Studio. We can control what comes into our hearts, into our minds, how it's actually stored, and ultimately valued for the rest of the world. There are different communities that you can become a part of. There are different councils that you can become a part of. Your voice counts in this ecosystem. This is the future of voting. This is the future of the financial system. This is the future of the land management systems. This is the future of how communication happens. This beautiful woman with white hair, imagine you have a public key, I have a public key, and that creates a new, what we call a decentralized ID. Our relationship is unique from anyone else. That same technology that I just mentioned was just adopted into the new barcode system worldwide that is on QR codes. It will be coming to a world near you. The question is, will we actually be a part of the solution? Please get involved. There's a couple different things that you can do. clearunited.com/r/clay. That's a website. Jump on that, learn, ask questions. People are there to support you. You have wonderful team members that are here. If you want to text 53445, there'll be information that will be sent to you there as well. There are 2 different or 3 different booths that are here. One that's around the digital world, one that's around Clear United Opportunity. You learn about it, you tell other people, or one that's just around the phones. So please, come find us right out in this hall. I hope that this makes sense to you. I hope that we've added some value and can actually get an area where we can act together. Because united, we can do anything.
This is a tracking device, an ad server, a magnet for pornography, and an invitation to hackers. It's also called a smartphone, which makes you wonder, if it's so smart, why does it allow all these unwanted invasions? The answer is in the motivations of phone makers, web browsers, and cell networks. The bottom line is, well, the bottom line. These companies make more money off selling your data than charging for your service, so they have a lot of open doors in their systems that allow for tracking and ad delivery. Open doors that often get exploited by hackers and the purveyors of smut, whose motivations are the same: make money off innocent people, especially our children. So why doesn't somebody make a truly smartphone that blocks ads, malware, trackers, and pornography right out of the box? Well, here it is, ClearPhone. It runs on a private network built on security first, and it uses artificial intelligence to root out threats, sketchy apps, and dodgy content. Here's how it works. This is my favorite feature as a mom. If someone tries to search a bad site, it blocks it automatically right out of the box. Now you can click the Request Unblock button, but for a site like this, it won't let you, which means my kids are safe. Say my son wants to go to a legitimate site like this. He searches. It may block it just because it doesn't recognize it as an approved site yet. He can request an unblock, and I can actually unblock it from my phone. So once I've unblocked it, you just refresh the page, and it pops right up. Here we are at the New York Times. You'll notice as we scroll that this one has ads, and this one does not, which means it loads faster and that my kids are safer. So even on a legitimate news site like New York Times, there are over 30 trackers, and ClearPhone blocks all of the bad ones. There you have it. The only phone that runs on a private network, blocks all the bad stuff, and gives you total control. That's more than smart. It's brilliant.